Hey, this is Jenny Higley with RMSO, bringing you another sighting report from California. The sighting happened at the Lake Shasta Caverns by a tour guide and two tourists in the winter of 2001. The tour guide is reported to be a credible witness by the investigator who interviewed her. She grew up in the mountains of Northern California and knew the location she was working at very well. Prior to the sighting, the witness reported rocks and sticks hitting the roof of the building where she was stationed at by the entrance to the cave. She also reported frequently experiencing a feeling of being watched and an unexplained fear, particularly noticeable at the end of the day after finishing her last tour and closing up the cave. She also reported noticing a strong smell of death, similar to, but not as strong as, a decaying animal corpse, coming off the mountain on occasion as well. On the day of the sighting, the weather was cold and rainy, and the visibility was about 300 yards or less. On the last tour of the day, only two tourists arrived, a male and a female, from Santa Rosa, California. They're on vacation. The tourists arrived on the bus, which carries visitors from the boat dock at the bottom up a steep one-lane road to the cavern entrance. All three witnesses were standing, talking quietly, looking out across the ravine when they heard something rustling and rushing and a distinct rhythmic thump coming on the ground. The two tourists asked the guide what it was, and the guide just kept watching the area it was coming from because she didn't know what was coming. About 200 yards away, but clearly visible, was a skid path or a trail coming down off the mountain. This is where the noise was coming from. Whatever was coming was large enough to be moving the tops of the trees and was coming at a very swift pace. Out of the brush it came, a large black figure moving rapidly on two legs down the side of the ravine towards the lake. It was on two legs, and its arms were swinging as far as its strides. In a matter of seconds, it was out of view, headed down towards the lake. They could still hear it crashing and stomping towards the water's edge. Then all went silent. The tour guide immediately turned to the man and asked if he had got it on film, as he had a high-powered scope-like camera, and he had been looking through it at the time of the crossing. The man replied, "I don't know. I think so." Then she ran for the emergency radio that was kept in the storage room and called down to the bus at the bottom. She explained what had happened and what they had witnessed, and then told them to come and get them now. Her boss at the time told her to be calm and get everyone inside the building and to wait there for the bus. When they were all safely back at the bottom, across the lake, and back in the gift shop, she exchanged numbers with the two vacationers. Unfortunately, she turned the numbers over to her boss and never heard anything back from the other two witnesses ever again. Shortly thereafter, she quit her job as the tour guide because she never wanted to sit up on that mountain by herself ever again. The location she was posted at every day had no access roads and is very isolated. It takes a boat ride and a bus ride just to get to the high, steep forested hillside. It's located on a peninsula with no roads, houses, or people, 30 miles west and 10 miles east of pure nothing, reports the witness. Perfect habitat for a large animal. Further investigation, including an effort to locate the additional witnesses, remains ongoing. Thanks for listening. Keep on watching, and we'll keep on squatching.